Well, I am so glad you're here today. And I'm going to tell you this right up front because it matters. Carmen is actually on camera in this episode. Not me reading something she wrote, not a Care Partner Corner read. She is here live and she's going to close out the episode. And you're going to want to stick around because what she says at the end is something a lot of people with Parkinson's really need to hear.
Welcome to Living with Parkinson's. The good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community with Bryce Perry. Let's begin.
All right. Well, welcome to the episode. My name is Bryce, and I am so glad you're here. Now, in the last episode, we talked about the emotional side of this, being tired of explaining yourself, apologizing when you shouldn't have to, and going quiet just to save energy. Well, today is the practical side. This is about decision fatigue and the real life things that help when your brain is just done deciding. Because Parkinson's doesn't just drain your body, it drains your ability to make choices. And the worst part is, it sneaks up on you, even on your good days. And I learned that the hard way. When I wake up and I feel decent, my brain immediately goes into catch-up mode. Laundry, errands, phone calls, that thing I've been putting off. And maybe one more thing because, hey, I feel good. Why not? And by mid-afternoon, I'm not physically exhausted yet. I'm mentally fried. And that's decision fatigue. So here are some things that have actually helped me. Okay? So let's get going. And if you suffer from decision fatigue, give me a hashtag me too in the comments. And if you've never heard of decision fatigue, get ready because it is a real thing. Okay, here is the first one. And this one is boring, but it actually works. I stop deciding everything in real time. If I wake up and I start my day asking myself, should I shower now or should I eat first or take my meds first? Should I go out or should I wait? I've already burned energy that I did not need to. So I decide some things ahead of time. Med timing, when I'm leaving the house, one main thing for the day. And not because I'm rigid, but because my brain is acting like it's on a game show all day long. It doesn't go good for me. And if that sounds like you, let me know in the comments so I don't feel like I'm the only one there. All right, number two. The second thing is how I treat good days. Now, good days are dangerous because they lie to you. They make you think, oh my God, I'm back. And suddenly you're stacking tasks like you're trying to win a prize. Now I treat good days like borrowed energy. I can use it, but I don't spend it all in one place. Because guess what? There's no award for doing everything today if it's going to cost you the next 3 days. All right. All right. The third thing that helped me more than I expected, really way more than I expected, was having default answers ready. Because half of decision fatigue isn't doing things. It's responding to people. Can I do this? Do I want to do that? Are you up for this later? I don't explain my entire situation anymore. I have defaults. Not today. I'm pacing. Let me get back to you. No apology, no explanation, just an answer. Remember that? No apologies. And I'm not and don't apologize for not apologizing. All right. Number 4. The fourth thing I do is protect transitions. Now, what are transitions? Getting ready, leaving the house, coming home. Those moments cost me more energy than actual activity sometimes. So I stopped stacking things back to back. If I have an appointment, that's the main event. If I go out, I don't schedule something right after. And not because I can't do more, because I don't want to borrow from tomorrow. Okay? And number 5, you have to know when to stop. And if you're doing this solo, that's even harder because there's no one stepping in to say, hey, that's enough. It's enough. So you have to be that voice for yourself, right? So stopping early isn't quitting. It's choosing sustainability. Okay, I can't believe we're here already. But I want to bring Carmen in because she sees the parts that I miss when I'm feeling good. She sees the cost before I feel it. So if you're ready, it is now time for Carmen's Care Partner Corner. My wife, Carmen.
Hey, everybody, it's me. I decided I wanted to join all of you today because it's been a while and I miss you all. So, on the topic, what I notice is that Bryce doesn't actually want to explain himself. So, this is my perspective as his care partner. He wants to be understood without having to explain. And that's a really, really important difference. There are so many moments where I can see him deciding whether something is worth the explanation. Not whether he has the energy to do it, but whether he has the energy to talk about why he can't. And that's when he starts saying things like, it's fine, or don't worry about it. Not because it's true, but because it ends the conversation faster. What people don't see is how much thinking goes into that moment. He's already weighing the timing, the meds, the energy, the aftermath. And then on top of all of that, he has to decide if he wants to educate someone. And sometimes the answer is just no. And honestly, I think that that's where a lot of the frustration comes from. Because explaining Parkinson's over and over and over again can start to feel like you're defending yourself, like you're trying to convince people that your experience is real. And nobody, I mean nobody, should ever, ever have to do that. So when I step in, it's not to control anything, it's to remove the pressure. Sometimes I'll just say, this isn't a conversation we're having right now. And I don't do that in a rude way. And I'm just being protective. That's what I do. Because he doesn't owe anyone a presentation on his nervous system, which that's how it ends up feeling like when he starts to educate. And I think this matters for care partners to hear. So please really hear this. Your role isn't to fix. It isn't to manage. It isn't to explain everything. Sometimes your role is just to close the conversation. So here's the struggle I had. I have a Carmen-ism, but actually I have two, and they're both really good and they both apply. And I'm going to say both. So I think I've one-upped Bryce on this one because now I have two. So who's keeping score out there? Can you please let me know? Hashtag Carmen has more. Anyway, so my first Carmen-ism is I'm not trying to stop Bryce from living. I'm trying to make sure he can do this again tomorrow. The other Carmen-ism I have is when Bryce says I'm fine, that's usually my cue to start negotiating. Anyway, love all of you. You're amazing. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to turn it back over to Bryce.
Carmen, thank you. My God, two Carmen-isms. And then she's like, hey, hashtag. Oh my God, she's really got it. I really like that, though. That was pretty awesome. But honestly, thank you for saying all that out loud. And if what Carmen said resonated with you, give her a heart in the comments so that she knows she's not alone in this either. And I can get her to come back on the air live again and in person. Okay, well, you made it this far, so you've earned today's Bryce-ism. And that was two Carmen-isms, which means I clearly have earned today's Bryce-ism. So here it is. With Parkinson's, when Carmen gives you two Carmen-isms in one episode, that's not advice. That is a formal complaint. All right. If this episode helped, make sure you've subscribed. And if one of these tips, okay, if one of them is something you needed today, tell me which one in the comments. Which one of the 5 tips are you going to do today? Because odds are someone else is also trying to decide their way through a good day right now too. And until next time, I really appreciate you. I really do. And I want you to keep showing up. I want you to keep being real. And I want you to keep doing life today. And I'll see you on the next episode.
Parkinson's may be part of your life, but it doesn't get to define it. Thanks for listening to Living with Parkinson's, the good, the bad, and the reality. If this episode moved you, helped you, or reminded you you're not alone, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Want to go deeper? The Inner Circle is waiting. Monthly Zoom calls, 24/7 community, and a direct line to Bryce. You'll find the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up and keep doing life today.